guys, and welcome back to a new episode. Today we will be looking at Tezzeret, Betrayer of Flesh. So this is the new Tezzeret from Neon Dynasty, and he's 2 blue for a full loyalty planeswalker, and he's a very powerful passive which has the first activated ability of an artifact you activate each turn costs 2 less. Bear in mind the activation is reduced on either player's turn, which is pretty good. He's got +1, which is draw 2, then discard 2, unless you discard an artifact. So it's like Faithless Looting, where it's very good for, you know, gaining some card advantage and filtering. So you can make even a reanimated deck from this general. -2 makes an artifact creature, and if it isn't a vehicle, it has base power and toughness 4/4. So if you've got some cheap 1 mana to 3 mana artifacts out, and you've got nothing to do with them, then you can turn them into beat sticks, which is really powerful to block Tezzeret as well as attack the opponent. And the -6 is pretty crazy. Lets you you get an emblem whenever an artifact you control becomes tapped. Draw a card. So this goes for everything. Mana rocks. If you happen to have any artifact lands in Commander, that seems to be a bit easier. But yeah, let's have a look at some of the synergy pieces in the deck. So I've gone for as many things as possible with activated abilities. You could use something like the Celestus. So you could use this for 1 mana to draw a card and discard a card that can get you out of a bind. You've got Chaos Wand, doing this for 2 mana. It's really powerful, getting to cast spells from your opponent's deck for 2 mana a turn. Very powerful. You can even go a bit more synergy heavy with the Magistrate Scepter. Putting counters on the Scepter for 2 mana is a lot cheaper than 4, and then eventually removing 3 counters from it and taking an extra turn after this one can pretty much win you the game. So yeah, the deck is littered with lots of stuff with activated abilities, and as long as you've got loads of artifacts on the 2 mana and 1 mana side as well, you're going to be able to use the -2 to create a really good blocker as well. So the deck list will be in the description below, and don't forget to leave me a like and a sub if you like what you see. I will add a little bit at the end of the video just to summarise how I thought the games went. So if you want to see that part as well, stick to the end of the video. Okay, let's get into some games. We go first against Muldrotha and Garuda. Wonderful. So it's going to be a very powerful, high-tier deck versus our brand new made deck to showcase Tezzeret. Always is the case, isn't it? So we can go for the Search for Scanter next turn. I could have gone for Silver Raven there, but I'm not too bothered about that. I kind of just want to get the tap land out of the way, even though it would have been untapped either way. Anyway, let's move on from that. Go for Search for Scanter. So they're going to have every card in the deck will be even CMC, and that's because Garuda says so, if it's a companion, which it is. They're already ramping to 4 mana in their next turn, which is a lot. We don't want any more lands, please. Go for Crystalline Giant, this could be nice. See what ability it gets. It gets Vigilance, okay. Hexproof is the ability to get here because it gives it the most amount of protection. Following turn, I could go for Tezzeret, but they probably have something like Binding, Key to the Archive. So they're going to get Garuda very soon after going for the Muldrotha, and they can recast off from their graveyard, which is wonderful for them. What do you guys think of my brand new avatar? I chose the Wanderer because she looks really cool, I think. We did get the Disdainful Stroke, which is nice, so we can potentially counter something that they go for here. I think also going to go for the Silver Raven to scry 1. Silver Raven scrying into Raven form, that's pretty flavourful. Vigilance Lifelink is decent as well. I think the Disdainful Stroke here could be vital in protecting us. They look the holding priority there for some weird reason. So Solemn Simulacrum, yeah, I'm not too bothered. They can go for that if they really want to. They possibly will be waiting for a turn to cast the Muldrotha plus a counterspell. You'll see that a lot in high-level Magic. So they've put Garuda into their hands. Raven form is going into ours. Let's go for the Khan's Bastion here. We've got 3, 4, 5 mana, so unfortunately we can't go for the Raven form or the Stroke and Tezzeret. So yeah, we just have to wait. Flying Vigilance Lifelink, very nice. And probably should have attacked with the Raven there as well, but it's fine for now. And then you will foretell this and keep up the stroke. See what happens. So they could go for Gyruda plus counter spell magic, which is quite possible. Xanathar, well, I want to try and counter that. Do they have a counter of their own? So even if they did, they didn't choose to use it. Fair enough. Elderfang Disciple. Each opponent discards a card. Luckily, it was just a land. And just means Search for Scanter is a bit closer to being flipped. Flux Channeler. Flux Channeler is nice, but not right now. It's the wrong time for that card. Tempted by the Auric. For each opponent, gain control of one creature or planeswalker with CMT 3 or less. It's not going to cut it right now, is it? We can go for the Tezzeret, I guess. And this is a good time to fill our graveyard. And then we can discard.
Taste success already.
What do we want to discard? No, I think I want to actually, weirdly, I know it sounds weird, I want to discard 2 cards because I want the Ascanter to flip. And then we will just swing with the giant. It's got a lot of abilities. It's quite weird because it says it's a giant, but it doesn't look very big. It looks like a small little gnome or something. But I guess he's looking down on huge trees, I suppose. I'm not sure about the art on this. He hasn't got a face, which I find a bit odd. I prefer the Godzilla artwork, which is like Mecha Godzilla. Very cool. So what does the opponent want to do here? They've got a lot of mana. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They can still only do one of the things here. Whatever they do, it's tempting to Raven form the creature. So exile it. So here comes Gyruda. Fingers crossed they don't get anything too scary. What do they get? They get my Triton. Okay, that's fine. Now the scary part is the following turn they can just go for Mordrotha and then res something from the graveyard, which I don't really want to see. We do lose the Silver Raven, but at least we get rid of one of their things, and yeah, we'll put that in the bin as well. And transform. Consuming Tide, so not a great card, to be honest, because they're just going to bounce their things and get retargets. Let's draw 2 and discard 2 here.
I need results. Keep
So,
working.
what do I want to do? Yeah, I guess we'll discard that now. And what next? I guess the first thing to do is attack. Vigilance, Lifelink, Flying, Menace, and Reach. Flying and Reach, ironic. So I want it to get hexproof, really. Down to 13. Okay, so this is tricky because if we don't get everything Gyruda, what creatures do they have? They can get back Xanathar eventually. Maybe for now, just go for the Ugin.
Recklessness
And then
are the seeds of disaster.
okay. Yeah, that was weird. They had really good chance there. They could have just played Mordrotha, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then they would just have 4 mana open. And with that 4 mana, they could have gone for the Atris, Solemn, so many good things. And then played a land, so they could have actually had 5 mana open. That was such a shame. I don't think I would have quit there, but fair enough. Moving on to the next game then. Okay, so we go first against Jacob Hawken Inspector. Something weird I've noticed, however, is whenever I use blue decks, I seem to get matched up against a lot of other blue decks, and I'm not sure what that means. If it is something to do with the algorithm, then it's kind of makes it quite a stale environment because it means that you keep facing the same cards over and over again. And let's go for the Batterbone here. Now, unfortunately, Jacob Hawken seems innocent, but it actually isn't. And the reason for that is A lot of Jacob Hawking decks I've seen want to get Omniscience out as soon as possible. And they can do that as early as turn 6. So unfortunately we did miss a land drop there. So that could cost us the game, really. We'll see what happens. Go to an archive, wow, so they've already got extra. So they've got 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I suppose we'll go for our own ramp. So they could go for Jacob plus some kind of protection. So they've got 4 mana open. So I guess the first thing we do is we try and put the transmutation onto the Jacob Hawken here. Could be good for disabling him. And we still have this disdainful stroke up in case they try and go for Omniscience next turn. Although saying that, does it cast it? You may play or cast. Okay, so we might as well attack anyway because they can't kill our Battlebone and we gain a life. Okay, so let's see if they do have the Omniscience. So if you don't know how this works, draw a card, exile a card. You may look at that card for as long as it remains exiled, then pay 6. If you do, transform it. On the enchantment side, you can then cast a spell for free that's exiled with Jacob. And also at the beginning of your upkeep, you can exile top card of your library for free. So every turn you get to play a spell for free. It's pretty wild. And is it going to be the combo? Is it going to be Omniscience? Or something worse? Don't know what's worse than Omniscience, to be honest. I guess all the spells you can cast for free would be worse than Omniscience. Why is Omniscience even in Arena? It seems like a seems like a very powerful card for a format that's not old enough to have the answers for it. But we shall see. Okay, so they do flip it for 6 mana, and it's like Kairi. So yeah, we will try and strike this. Okay, so luckily we hit that. They've still got 2 mana open, and they can still get 3 spells a return, so we have to be careful. I guess we'll put the Mystic Sanctuary there, and we can put the Contentious Plan on top. So I've got 5 mana. I could just leave mana up for the Kindred Denial, I guess. But let's try and get Tezzeret out. Let's get something. Okay, that resolves. It's interesting. So let's draw 2.
I am owed victory.
And then I'll discard the Covert Technician. It's a shame we didn't hit another land for next turn, but we'll try and see how we go. This Ornithopter is saving them a lot of damage. So once again, they've exiled a card and they can cast it for free. So depending on what it is, Cold Steel Heart. Okay, so that's, you know, it's not too bad. It's not world ending, but we're at the point now where they have 4, 8 mana anyway. So it kind of doesn't really matter. They could cast what they want either way. Shark Typhoon. That's going to be annoying. And they've got 3 mana up, so that's counterspell time, isn't it? Consuming Tide is looking better and better. And what to do? What to do? Maybe we go for the Contentious Plant. Yeah, that's fine. Then it still leaves up 4 mana for the Kindred Denial as well. Oh, very nice. That means Tezzeret is at ultimate level. So do we just go for the ultimate here? Whenever we tap an artifact, we draw a card. Yeah, why not?
I have no patience for failure.
And
All
that
the pieces
works
have come
quite well,
together.
actually,
Now
because
you die.
we want to use the Consuming Tide anyway. Dive down. Okay, so all this just to create a shark token. Sure, I mean, if you want to protect your are they that desperate to protect the Ornithopter? Fair enough. Do I just do this now? I think so. So draw a card. So we'll keep the relic because if we replay the Batterbone, we get a germ token back. And what they're going to keep? They're going to keep either the Shark Typhoon or the Hawkins Insight, I reckon. You can keep one thing. Okay, so they choose the Insight. So they've gone for Lucky Dip. So it was a land. So we got lucky once again. If they tap out for the... Okay, Typhoon. So this is where I think we're going to go for the Meteor Golem here. So we also draw a card, which is... Oh, this is looking juicy now. So I think... Yeah, we'll go for the Shark Typhoon because that is... That's got high ceiling. The Hawkins Insight is great, but it's only one a turn, whereas the Typhoon gets as many sharks as there are spells. I'm surprised I've lasted this long, to be honest. Yeah, having Tezzeret's ultimate is pretty awesome. The Scholar of the Lost Trove could also be fantastic if we combine it with the Consuming Tide. What will happen is, this comes in, we can cast the Tide for free. Then this goes off, and then we could even return the Scholar back to our hand, or the Meteor Golem for following turn to recast. So if we wait to do this once the opponent has a lot more permanents out, then it would be an awesome blowout for us, and it could hopefully make us win. Other options are not as good, because yeah, drawing a card doesn't seem so powerful for 7 mana, but the Tide seems great. Do they just tap out again? Araska Relic, they do. So the Cavalier of Gales is somewhat annoying, because now it means we can't play Ugin out very safely, unfortunately. And being mono blue, we don't have many answers for enchantment, so Ugin is one of the very few solutions we have. So do we play the Ugin just to kill the Insight or not? See, this is a counter spell. Once during each of your turns, so they can't do it in our turn. Okay. So maybe just go for the Ugin and kill the Insight? Is that a good play? I'm not quite sure. It does buy us a bit of time. Yeah, I think so.
I know more than you could learn in a
Making them
thousand
recast it and then paying 6, that's a lot of mana. That's 10 mana to get this out again. Whereas the Cavalier is annoying, but it doesn't provide continuous advantage. And also now that exiled card is gone forever. We can also go for the Batterbone for free, because our artifacts cost 2 less. And yeah, I think we'll just pass the turn then. So yeah, sadly we will lose the Ugin, but I think he has done well enough here. He's given us 2 extra cards for free and got rid of their combo strategy. We're by no means safe, because we all know how powerful mono blue decks can be. I mean, we are using one ourselves, obviously. Not quite as combo-y as they, probably, but going for all the ramp spells. Ornithopter. So don't forget we have our Scholar plus Consuming Tide. And it would be interesting to see what they pick here, because nothing they have on the field is mega powerful. It's just the amount of things they have, all the tech pieces. Drawing cards, gaining mana. And here comes Jacob again. Interesting. So this would be a great turn for us to do the Scholar trick. It's a shame that we will lose the Ugin though. Not much can be done about that.
I must return to my
So we might as well tap this for mana because it draws us a card, which is definitely keeping us in the game. Okay, so the first thing I think we do is we swing in with both these guys. Counterspell. That could be good. So we've got 7, 8 mana. So if we go for an untapped mana here, we'll have 9. So we can go Scholar plus Counterspell following turn. So let's do that, and then go for the Consuming Tide. And then the thing I want to keep, I'll keep the ramp, because I am happy to just recast everything. So they're putting all their eggs into one basket. Discard a card. That is fine with me. I think I'll go for the land. So it's lucky that I chose this, because it does mean I still have the 2 mana up for the counter spell. So 8, 9, 10. They may feel safe, but let's see what they go for. If they do have something crazy. So don't forget they can exile a card from their hand face down. So if they had Omniscience in their hand, they can also do it. That's why this general is so powerful. And weirdly, since drawing that card, it's all the data in the hand is now face down. Ulamog. So we're going to lose 2 permanents here, which is very sad. So we can try and counter it. This makes things pretty difficult though. If they counter this, we are in a lot of trouble. Because it's indestructible. Memory lapse. Oof. Yeah, they got very lucky there. Ulamog in hand. They could have just hardcast that as well. They didn't even have to use the Hawkins Insight there. So what can we really do here? We're in a lot of trouble. They're going to attack us and mill 20. I guess we can recast the golem and then destroy the insight again. But I fear that it's probably too late now. Unfortunately. Yeah, the indestructible on this is going to be a pain. Is there anything in the graveyard we can recast? The only thing that really helps is, well, the transformation would be good, but we can't get that back because it's not an artifact. Yeah, this kind of deck is very powerful. I don't know how flavorful it is to play stuff for free on a creature that transforms into enchantment, but I guess it's, you know, different, I suppose. Cavalier. Sure. So our only real hope is to kind of get an exile effect, or turning Ulamog into something without any abilities. So we've got 75 cards, so we're going to be taken down to 55. So we can only take a few hits here. I don't even want to look in that pile to see what happened. So we're not going to block because there's no need. No need yet. Anyway. Okay. I guess we'll go for Tezzeret. Unless they counter this as well. Pact of Negation. Okay, I'll try to counter that. Oh no, actually, they've got enough mana, so let's just counter this. They would have had to pay 5 in their upkeep, but they've got more than enough. And the main reason I play Tezzeret is because I want to just dig towards an answer, but I don't think I'm going to have one here.
Like innovation has no limit.
I guess we'll get rid of the Batterbone. And I could attack and draw a card, but yeah, we'll just see what happens. I think we've pretty much died in this game here. So we're going to take... Well, we could take 15 this turn, and then they mill us for another 20. Or they could go and kill Tezzeret. Okay, this is just... Yeah. This is pretty demoralising, not going to lie. So...
Progress is power.
Sure. Okay, so they've discarded the Slyn Voda, so I guess I don't need to cast that. And here comes Jacob again. So we're definitely going to be taking 15 here. I don't really know what we need now. A miracle, I guess. So normally one of our answers could be in there, but... Yeah, we'll just take the 15. We're not quite dead yet anyway. Down to 6. Ah, okay. So let's go for the Scholar. Do they have another counter? So draw a card. So this has to be something good with the card we draw, or we are just screwed. So don't want to proliferate Tez. Brazen Borrower doesn't do anything because it just bounces the Ulamog to the hand and they can recast it. I suppose we can attack. We can draw another card with the Meteor Golem here. Yeah, it's sad how we're basically going to lose because the Ulamog one card. Moon Snare Prototype. Ah, let's see. Owner of target non-permanent, put it on top or bottom. Yeah, that wouldn't really help. I mean... okay. So, I suppose I could go for Signet. Alright then, so there's probably a tiny window here, but let's see what Tezzeret does. Going for the emblem.
You still know nothing of my dreams.
Right, whenever an artifact comes to... Right, okay, so... Okay. Yep, that's pretty good.
I will usher in the era of
Land.
machines.
I wonder what they're waiting for. I guess they need more ways to back up the Ulamog, or... As if we both have the Tezzeret ultimate, and it was my Tezzeret. Come on. So they've drawn all their cards. And they've got 4 mana. So I'm very hesitant about casting the Brazen Borrower because it just returns the Ulamog to its hand and they can just recast it. So we'll see. I'll wait as long as possible. Obviously, if they're going to recast it, they're going to destroy everything of ours. Solemn. So they can't actually cast the Ulamog now in their turn. So I could just bounce it, shuffle it in, and then scry 2. Is there a way for me to time this? Oh, this is interesting. I mean, I doubt I'm even going to get to resolve the Brazen Borrower here. Do you know what? Let's just see now before they draw an extra card. Does this work? If this doesn't bounce, then I think we die. Yeah, like if they counter this, we're just screwed. Starlit Mantle gives it hexproof. Hexproof, indestructible. Okay. And the Jingataxius with the Hawk of Insight. Sure. Well, I'm not sure what this has been a deck for, my deck or theirs, but there you go. Hope you tried to enjoy as much of that as you possibly could. Moving on to the next game then. So we go first against Orvar. Starting hand is not amazing, but I'll keep it because we do have spare supplies to draw us a card at least. The Mnemonic Sphere is pretty good because you can just discard a draw one as well, but I'd like to keep it. So we are looking for a land. So we do get one, but it is tapped annoyingly. Are they just going to be a counter deck? That's the scary part. So we are playing out all of our stuff before the side comes out, but I just want to do stuff on curve. That's the main thing. Augur of Bolus, nice. Essence Flux, so they could flicker this to re-trigger, and let's go for Tez. And then, yeah, let's make something alive. So, here's what happens if I attack. If I attack, they will block with Augur and then flicker it, getting the re-trigger, getting a new card. So, they're going to do this anyway, so there's no point attacking. So they weren't so worried about just getting a free card there, fair enough. Frostlinks taps down the spare supplies, which is fair enough. Then they're going to swing in for 1 damage on Tez. Okay? So here's the annoying part. If they flicker Frostlinks, they can tap down another defender. Sure. So let's draw and discard first.
I need results.
No, don't want to discard Panamonican. Get rid of the Frogify. And I think Blink of an Eye. Frogify and Blink of an Eye. So then we'll play Snow-Covered Island. Let's see what to do. So let's say I want to keep up the wash away for their general. 4 and 1. Don't want to give a Psy. Do this at any time. Pay 2 to draw 2. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? Yeah, let's just pass. Suspicious. Okay. Leaving the 1 mana up to flicker one of their things. So let's see where they go with these. Alright. Test the waters. I'm going to try and bounce this to the hand without kicking it. So they'll get to replay it, obviously. Right. Now I'm trying to counter this. So, obviously, I'll just use 2 spells there to try and protect Tezzeret, but interesting. Okay. So it bounces it back to the hand. Interesting. They really don't want to use the Essence Flux, do they? I guess, kind of makes sense. Frostlinks taps down the spare supplies once again. Well, we can only really tick up, so let's start with this. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Oh, wow. Do I just discard this, or do I steal one of their things? 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Get rid of the Raven. Play Sanctuary, putting... I think we'll put Wash Away on top of our deck. So that's a nice little threat. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could steal... I think we'll steal the Frostlinks, so they can't keep freaking tapping us down, and go for the reality check. Make it harder for them to get through. They seem to be obsessed with killing Tezzeret, so let's stop them doing that, which is kind of driving me insane. So Orvar comes out. So if they flicker one of the things now, they're going to get a copy of it. If one of your instants or sorceries targets one of your guys, you get a copy of it. Okay. Pardon me. So that, annoyingly, was 2 damage. Sure thing.
Not when I was so close.
So, yeah, that is kind of annoying, isn't it? Instant on top. Okay, sure. So let's reconfigure this onto the links. And then we can bounce the Orvar back to their hand. Just wasting their time, basically. Okay, and now we can start swinging in. I don't care about taking 2. Hit me for 2. And they know we've got the wash away, but we also annoyingly can't cast it because this only counter stuff that wasn't from your hand. Yeah, that's annoying. And this has got jump start, so they could do that again. Pretty annoying. Key to the archive. So let's cast that from the top. I guess Lightning Helix is pretty decent. Discard a card. So I can't cast Wash Away, so I might as well discard that now. And then happy to swing in with the spare supplies, which is a weird concept. Swinging in with a rucksack and a sword just on the floor. Okay, so they don't know we have the Disdainful Stroke. Into the Royal, going for the Frost Links. That's quite annoying. Okay. So we can't cast stuff off the top of our deck now until we reconfigure the creature, but it's the way it is. We do have the Lightning Helix if they do want to do any shenanigans in our next turn. Let's just hope that the key to the archive remains where it is. Yeah, definitely going to try and strike this. That's a crazy card. So leaving their mana open. So let's try and resolve a Panamonican. That's stage 1. Right. Got 4 mana. So it's swinging with the spare supplies. Oh, they're actually blocking, apparently. Oh, okay. They're blocking. Did not expect them to just block and not flicker it. I don't really understand why they don't do this, because on the Augur. Yeah, fair enough. Let's see if I can kill the Orvar in response here. We actually do. Okay, awesome. That buys us a little bit of time. So obviously they still get an Augur replacing the other one. But they missed with that one. And I'm glad it's just not draw card. It's just, yeah, they have to reveal instant source to get. They get on summon. Sure thing. On summon on the spare supplies. Fair enough. So Orvar now costs 6, so they could spend their entire turn tapping up Mind Flayer. Wowzers. So they're going to gain control of the reality chip. Okay, and they're going to swing you for 2. Let's see what we get here. So yeah, we really want to kill the Mind Flayer, because that is a nuisance. What do we have in this? It's got Lightning Helix. So if this resolves, this is pretty damn good. Sweet. So we're going to get 2 triggers here. So we're definitely going to go for the Lightning Helix. And we can definitely steal something of theirs as well. So gain control of something. So let's take the OG Bolus, Augur of Bolus. And then let's kill the Flayer, because that's very powerful. Oh, thank goodness. That was going to be a really tough matchup. Alright guys, so welcome back to the post-game reviews. So just a new thing I'm trying to see if people are actually interested in what my thoughts were after playtesting. So I might continue this depending on how the stats work out. Anyway, let's have a little talk about what I thought. In testing, this was actually brutal to play. Absolutely brutal. I would start off by saying, if you want to use Tezzeret as a general, you probably have to go full tier 1, because I'm not even using the most evil of blue cards. I mean, you can see I've got Counterspell, Negate, Memory Lapse, Tezzeret's Gambit, but I was finding that by not including those, the deck strength wasn't actually as strong as it could be, and at the same time I was simultaneously facing really powerful opponents, which I found just quite unusual. This deck is by no means one of the strongest decks I've ever seen or used, yet the arena algorithm decided to pitch me against some of the most infuriating decks you could ever imagine, like Jacob Hawken going into Ulamogs and Omnisciences and stuff like that. I think you'd have to be an absolute masochist to want to make this deck, to be perfectly honest. And I should probably promote the generals that I make, but I'm going to get triggered every time I see this card now, because I've not seen many other players. Actually, I don't think I've seen a single other player use it, despite obviously being Neon Dynasty's launch date on Arena. So that's testament to how unpopular he seems to be currently. On paper, he seems really good, right? The activated abilities cost 2 less, but he's worded in such a bad way that it's actually detrimental to the power of the deck. I've never said that about General before. Like, an ability it has is actually detrimental. Think about that for a second. Not just a bad ability, but detrimental. And why is that? It's because it doesn't say not a mana ability. So if you use something like an Arcane Signet in your turn when you have a Tezzeret out, that triggered ability, also it's more of a passive ability, will trigger or proc for the Signet, which means if you then went for something afterwards, like let's think about this, Chaos Wand, that would cost 4 mana afterwards, so you're not going to get the discount. So you have to work out the timing very carefully and manually, which means it's already a headache to use. You don't want to design a card which is a mythic to be something like this on a digital play space, because obviously in paper you can like do take backs and stuff, but online this is, yeah, that's a terrible design. The +1, draw 2, discard 2, yeah, it's fine. It can dig you into the right stuff, but you just really need more threats. That mono blue doesn't really have low to the ground threats that are hard to deal with. Like, I kept finding in my testing that I was relying on stuff like Meter Golem or getting Ugin out to help me, but a lot of the early stuff, which the algorithm perceives to be really strong, it just doesn't really push me forward. I found myself being very defensive. I don't think I've ever lost so many games in testing. Trying to find some fun games for you guys to watch was quite difficult, to be honest, and they were not short games. One game was 35 minutes, and I was going to put it in the video, but then it would just make the video way too long, unfortunately. The -2 is decent, making something a 4/4, but it seems every time I did this, it'd be a decent attack and blocker, but then the opponent could just get rid of it so easily. And then Tezzeret's already at -2 at that point, so normally 2 loyalty, and they can kill him so easily. And it's very heartbreaking to play a mythic that it just doesn't have the oomph that you really want. The -6, even as an emblem, I've got to say, quite underwhelming. I got it off in one of the videos, but I mean, you have to have a lot of artifacts out to really, really utilize the ultimate. Obviously, it only takes 3 turns after the cast to use the ultimate, so I can see where they're going for with the low ultimate cost. But yeah, it just doesn't have, again, the pizzazz, the oomph that you're really looking for something like this. As I said, if you want to create this deck, by all means try, but I'm telling you now, you're going to have a really hard time unless you're really into high tier, big thinking Magic. I mean, I don't mind it now and then, but the matches this put me against, it was just horrendous. What else can I really say? Yeah, maybe someone can tell me in the comments below how you would improve the deck list. I'm not saying by any means that this is the best deck list you could make, but I did try to make something unique and fun using artifacts and activated abilities that would work well with Tezzeret. But yeah, I would definitely say this is much better in the 99 than General. That's my review of the General anyway. The deck as a whole played like most artifact decks, But yeah, it's mono blue's in this weird space where people fear it so much, and it can be super annoying. Yes, I totally agree. If you're playing a mono blue player and all they do is count your spells, that's miserable. I don't do that. I've literally got like 3 or 4 counter spells, and that's little. That's very low for mono blue. I've played some mono blue decks when that's all they used. Sorry if my voice is getting a bit sore. Been recording for quite a while now, but yes, I hope at least you could enjoy some parts of these games. Yeah, they were pretty difficult, to be perfectly honest. It's not the kind of gameplay you want to do if you're feeling tired. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and yeah, drop me a comment below. Just tell me what you think of the deck. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. At least if you say I'm wrong, just at least say why, and then I'll appreciate it, because then we can have a conversation about it. But yeah, don't forget to leave me a like and sub to my channel if you appreciate the feedback and critiques I give on the cards. So yeah, until next time guys, see you later. If you enjoyed watching this video, why not try some of my other videos on my channel? And don't forget to support me by hitting the like and subscribe button for more content like this.